uploaded to YouTube. Okay. You can access it later, and I'll provide you with the link after the session. Okay. Any question about this class? Any question about the course outline or any question about the online classroom instruction that I explained to you? Is there anything that you want to ask? You want to propose something? That's fine. If you want to change something, just let me know. And if it's good, we can change that. But if not, I'm sorry now. Okay. Any question?
Not yet, sir.
Okay, good. I'll start with the lecture then. Okay. So, content information system. Okay. I've been lecturer for 23 years, and the first subject that I did was a content information system. Okay, so I've been teaching this 23 years. I've been teaching this to Indonesian students and foreign students as well. Okay, so yeah, I can remember a lot of things. So, what is a content information system? Okay. Content information system is, if you see these cogs, wheels that turn. Okay, so system is a set of interrelated components that interact to achieve a goal. Okay, what the goals of the system? Many. Let's take us if you, I don't know whether you remember your biology class before university, but our body consists of a lot of parts, and those parts create our body, which is the system. Okay, we have lungs. The goal is to get oxygen from the atmosphere into our body and then expunge carbon dioxide from our blood to the atmosphere. We have digestive system to transform our food and drinks into energy and any other substance required by the body. We have a blood circulation system that circulates blood from all over the body, and so on and so forth. Okay. Each system has their own goal, and each system has interrelated component. If, for example, this small cogs in the middle here stuck, it will make the other stuck as well. Take a simple example. If you got cold and you have stuffy nose, it will affect your whole body. You will feel weak. You probably have a bit of feverish and so on. If you had a toothache, although the tooth itself that hurt, having pain, it will affect your ability to eat. It will make you hungry. It will irritate your emotion, your brain. You're easily agitated and probably snap just like that because of toothache. Okay. If your toes hit wall, or tables or something, the one that scream will be your mouth. Okay. So that's how our body connected. Okay. And if you read any publication about how COVID-19 disease destroy human body, that's the one. Okay. I had a friend that went to intensive care unit because he had COVID, but it's not the COVID itself that creating the problem. The problem was because of COVID messing up with his metabolism of his body, her blood getting thicker, and that's threatening his heart. So he could have a heart attack suddenly. Heart attack itself is not caused by COVID, but because of the coagulation of the blood. Okay, the problem. Okay. Every organization has a goals. Okay. And the subsystem should be designed to maximize achievement of the organizational goals. Sometimes to the detriment of the subsystem itself. Okay. For example, today, during this pandemic, we are forced to work or study from home. Okay. Is that the best way? Currently not. Okay, so we suffer. A lot of students and lecturers are stressful because of study or working from home. A lot of people having difficulties, which is normal. But that's need to be done. We, as part of Atmajaya as a system, we have to suffer, quote unquote, because we need to have the whole Atmajaya system survive. Okay. Back in 1998, when I was first become lecturer here, in 97, Indonesia was hit by the worst in my lifetime, I think, economic crisis. Okay, Atmajaya as well. So what Atmajaya did at that time, Atmajaya increased the number of student intakes from usually, especially in Faculty of Economics. Faculty Economics suffer the most. Why? Because usually Faculty Economics only admit 400 to 500 students. Suddenly, we had to admit 900 students. I have to teach 6 classes with nowadays only like 40 students per class. At that time, 60 students. And remember, in 98, we don't have Microsoft Day. We didn't even have computer in classroom. Okay, so everything was done manually, and we suffer. But that's necessary for surviving. And what happened after the economic crisis? Not only Atmajaya survived, but Atmajaya has new buildings, which is right now part of the Faculty of Industrial Engineering buildings. Atmajaya have new lands, acquired new lands, and Atmajaya at the time have substantial working capital. At the time, after the crisis, financial crisis finished, Atmajaya has cash that able to sustain operation for 5 years or 3 years, I can't remember, 3 or 5 years without students fee. So if you didn't pay your tuition fee, you still can survive for 3 or 5 years. That's a substantial amount. Okay. However, in any organization which is consists of human, there is no such thing as all the people will have the same goals. All the people will have the same perception. No, people have their own agenda. People have their own wants. People have their own needs that probably conflict with each other. Take a sample of us as a class. I'm here because I'm working and I need to get paid. You're here because you pay and you need to get a good mark. Okay, so in this sense, we don't have the same goal. Okay, and that's called as goal. Conflict. Okay, my goal is to finish this class, getting paid. Your goal is to finish this class and getting a good grade. Okay, so and from time to time, our goal will be in conflict. Okay, for example, if you get if as a student, not you, I believe you will. All of you are good students. If a student had a bad mark, they want to have good mark. Sometimes they come to me and asking me to improve their mark, and I said without anything, any effort, no, I cannot improve that. Okay, so that's goal conflict. If everybody have the same goal in line, that's called goal congruence, which is quite difficult. Okay, from time to time, especially in a larger and big organization, it's difficult to achieve goal congruence. You just need to see the social media. You know, take example, if the government have some policy, whether or not you agree with that, that's fine. But a lot of government policy will be making news because controversy. A lot of people say that's not good. Somebody else say that's good. Somebody else say that's good, but okay. So that's the difficulties to achieve good congruence. But as a system, you need to integrate everything. Everybody has to work in harmony with the others. Okay. Although we have different goals, but if we work together, we can achieve the higher goal. Okay. Okay. Now, I believe you already experience. I don't use the word pass because to enroll in this class, you don't necessarily need to pass introduction to accounting, but you already experienced introduction to accounting. We will use a lot of concept from introduction to accounting in this class. So don't forget it. If you still have the textbook, don't delete it yet because you will need it. Okay. What's the difference? Okay, let me see. Anybody remember what's the journal for cash sales? Anybody want to answer that? What's the journal for cash? What's the debit and what's the credit for cash sales of a product? Anybody remember? It's just last semester. What's the journal for cash sales? Pierre? What's the journal for cash sales? What's on the debit side? What's on the credit side? You can remember it?
Just I forget, sir.
Okay,
Sorry.
Who's the lecturer for Introduction to Accounting? Who's the lecturer?
Ma'am Prativi.
You got one of the best financial accounting lecturer. She used to teach me as well. Okay. Okay. Jessica, Natalia, Gosali. Remember what's the journal for cash sales?
Cash in debit side and sales in credit.
Good, correct. Okay. Now, Eleonora.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Have you ever purchased something in cash in, say, a store, mini market, supermarket? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever seen the supermarket cashier recorded the transaction with cash in debit and sales in credit?
Yes.
Really? The cashier record that?
Maybe.
No, it's not. What happened was, I believe the cashier will scan the product, right? And then enter the payment, right? If you look at the screen of the cashier, there will be no mentioning of debit and credit. Okay. Now, let's return to this. Okay. So, with introduction to accounting, you learn about the event that occurs. What event? Sales, cash sales, credit sales, purchasing something, paying somebody's salary, things like that. Okay, so that's what you learn about the resources. In cash sales, what the resources affected by those events? Cash in debit, you will get additional cash, and also sales on credit, you will get additional sales, and there will be a decrease in inventory because the product being sold, so it will be taken by the customer. However, the agent or who participate in that event was not discussed thoroughly. In accounting information system, we will discuss these three data in more details. Like, okay, if it's sales, cash sales, who involved and what's the role of that person involved in that transaction? What the role of the cashier? What the role of the customer? What the role of somebody else? Okay, we'll discuss that. So please don't forget all the topics from Introduction to Accounting, because it will be used as the basis for this subject. Okay, that's why you get Introduction to Accounting first and then Accounting Information System second. Okay, this just repeating what you already get from Introduction to Information System, what information is, and then we have this information overload. Okay, what information overload is a condition where you have too many or too much information up to the point that you could not make decision. Okay, just this weekend, last weekend, my daughter and I decided to take some pretzel, soft pretzel, German bread. And we have a lot of different recipe, different techniques, so we couldn't decide which one should we follow. Okay, so it's because there are so many information, and sometimes all those information are contrary to each other. Okay, again, if you look at the COVID-19 phenomena, you probably saw some information saying the vaccination is good, somebody else saying no, vaccination is bad. Okay, and there are a lot of other things that come in between, and that might confuse some people that they couldn't decide whether or not they will receive vaccination later. Okay, but that's just an example. Okay, exam. Okay, you have exam. When I was studying for my master, I only had one exam per semester, final exam. However, the exam carried out 60% of the total grade. Okay, so even though I make maximum point at assignment, but that's only count for 40%. So I need to get another 60% from exam. And I got like 3 or 4 textbooks to learn for the exam. And it's very exhausting, okay, mentally, to read those books in a short period of time, and that's information overload. So if you look at the benefit of information and cost of producing information, we will have value of information. What is value of information? What is benefit? Benefit of information may include reduction of uncertainty. Let us see the class schedule. Every semester, well, because you already get the package, you will not be able to see this clearly, but next semester, you have to choose your own class, okay? So you need to choose which subject you want to take and on what day, okay? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, on what session? First session, second, third, fourth, okay? And what happened, whatever written on the class registration book, that would happen, okay? So basically, when you receive the information that you will have a accounting information system class on Monday, 10 a.m., that would happen. Okay. Although before this, last semester, we still have for each class there is a who's the lecturer. Right now, it's not like that. Okay. Improve decision, because you know when each class will happening, you can create a plan. On Monday, I will just take 1 class. On Tuesday, I will just take 2 class, and so on and so forth. Okay, so you can make a plan ahead. Okay, you create schedule of your activities accordingly. Okay. Information is cost to collect data, process data, storing data, and distributing information to user. So, Ibu Pratiwi, the head of head of accounting program, start to develop the schedule for your classes long time ago. Okay, so she distribute form to us lecturers to fill out. So she assigned me, for example, to teach this class. Okay, so I need to let her know when I want to have this class. Okay, and then process the data. Ibu Nadia also help. Okay, storing data and then distribute the information to you. Okay, that's the cost. The value is the difference between benefit and cost. Okay. What's the characteristic of useful information? First is relevance. Okay, it reduces uncertainty. When you look at the accounting information system information in class registration information, you knew that this class will be on Monday, 2nd session. When we have conventional learning, you will know the room for this class. Okay. So that's relevance. Reliable, free from error. If it says accounting information system big class on Monday, 2nd session, it will be on Monday, 2nd session. Completeness doesn't leave out anything that's important. You will get the class, the course code, the course name, the class for that course, the schedule for lectures, the schedule for exams, and so on and so forth. Okay, so complete. Not only the name of the class, but also any other relevant information. Timelines, you get the in time for your day, which is before the class registration system or KRS, not after, not a year ago. A year ago, that information would be useless. Today, that information also useless because you need it 2 weeks ago. Understandably, present manner that you can comprehend and use. Okay. For verifiability, it means that 2 or 3 people, when reading that information, they will come to the same conclusion. And obviously, accessibility. Okay, you can get it when you need it. Okay, information is provided to both external and internal users. For external users, there are 2 different information. Mandatory information. This is information that required by government entity, such as tax office. Any company need to report their tax to tax office, tax report. Okay. The second type of external information is essential information. You don't need to provide this information. If you choose not to, there is no punishment. However, if you don't provide the information, your business will not be able to move. What's the example? For example, order. You want to order some materials for your manufacturing company. You need steel. You say to your supplier, hey, I need steel. Okay. Or I need iron, or I need fabrics, or I need flour. Your supplier will need to know what kind of steel, which grade, which quality, is there any dimension you need, at what price, where you want that steel to be delivered, when you need it, things like that. Without that information, and if you just say to your supplier, I need steel, I need flour, I need fabrics, they won't have a clue how to deliver it to you. Okay, so that's essential information. In providing mandatory or essential information, the focus should be on minimizing the cost. For tax office, for example, you don't need fancy reporting, things like that. Just use the form from tax office. That's it. Okay. Fill all the information as required by the law, and that's it. No more, no less. Okay. Meeting regularly. For essential information, meeting minimum standard of reliability and usefulness. So as long as your supplier can understand your order, that's fine. Okay. Now for internal user, this is a bit different. Again, you will learn in cost accounting about accounting information for internal users. Okay. And we will learn that a bit here also. The international user primarily use discretionary information, which is not available to external parties. Okay. The primary focus here is as long as the benefit exceed cost, you can produce that. What kind of information? For example, performance evaluation. If you evaluate the performance of your employee, for promotion or demotion, or before you terminate that employee, you need internal information. External parties doesn't need it. If you look at financial report that published by public companies in Indonesia and everywhere else, you will not find this kind of information in their financial report. Like how many people got promotion this year? How many people got raise in their salary this year? Nobody. Okay. Is supervisor in building A did a good job? Nobody cares. Okay. Only the internal side that cares. So what is accounting information system? Accounting information system is an information system that collects, records, stores, and process business data to produce information for decision makers. Okay, it could use advanced technology like the one that I think you already experienced, things like marketplace, selling and buying something. Okay, using application, and it could be a simple paper and pencil system like the one who sell you food, porridge, from stall in the street. Okay, or something in between. Most of the time we will discuss something in between, okay, using advanced technology, but also some manual system. Okay. But technology is simply a tool. Okay, having the best technology doesn't really means that you can win the competition or having success in your business. Okay. Okay. This you can read it. Yeah. Why accounting information system is fundamental to accounting? Okay, you might read somewhere that accounting is one of the profession or works that will be replaced by machine. So why bother sitting in accounting classes like what you are doing right now? Okay. Yes, if you see accounting as collecting data, classifying data, recording data, and then reporting that data, economic data, for reporting for decision making, then that profession will be vanished in a few years, replaced by computers. Computer will be faster, better, more accurate, more reliable for reporting. Okay. But that's why you are given courses on technology. Okay. So when you graduated later, in few years, you will not be replaced by machine. I have this story. This is a fact. ANZ, one of the biggest banks in Australia, have been aggressive in replacing. Oh, sorry, not replacing. They have been aggressive in using computerized accounting information system. So they changed everything into digital. system. Okay. However, an interesting fact is they now have the biggest number of employees in accounting department. Okay, so they have in their history right now they have the biggest number of accounting employees within their accounting department. Although they have been digitalizing their accounting process and accounting system for the last 10 years. Why? Because in ANZ, accounting is not just preparing financial report, but most important is to analyze. So if you have this balance sheet, you have this income statement, you have this cash flow, what does it mean? What should people do with that information? Is ANZ in a good shape financially? Is ANZ profitable and things so on and so forth? That's the future of accounting analysis. That's why we will emphasize this in our new curriculum. Okay. Later on, you will have to take, I think you have to take classes like statistics. Okay. And then if you ever read some IT profession called big data, business analytics, the basic of that technology is statistics. Okay, so be serious about it. Okay, let me continue with this. That's why you need this technology. I will not. You can read it by yourself. This one. Okay, for this strategy, I will not discuss it because it will be discussed in information management information system. Okay, your next class. Okay, so okay, that's it. The summary for this class. So what we already learned: what is accounting information system, what is system, how to think as a system. Okay, and you know why you were given this course. Okay, you need it because the future of accounting is in technology. So unless you want to be replaced by computers, the one that sit in front of you, you need to learn seriously about this subject. Okay, any question?
Not yet, sir.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else want to ask question?
Not yet, sir.
Thank you. Okay. You can read all the materials that I already provide you from Kuliah Site and also obviously the textbooks. And remember, next week, your assignment is to form a group of 2. Okay. Let me know the name and student ID for that group, and I'll set up everything for you to work in either Microsoft Teams or Kuliah Site. And my assignment will be to give you your first group assignment. Okay? Okay. So that's it for this week. Take care and see you next week.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Have a nice day.
You too.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.